Welcome everyone to your BNSA $1 Million Mastermind. This is our second official session. Yay! Good news, registration is closed. We are done, kabat, although someone seemed to sneak in, but that's okay, it happens. I think someone saved our link, but I'm pumped. Are you guys excited? Yay! Good.
Yeah.
Woo. We got to get a screenshot, so as soon as I'm stop talking, I'm going to take a screenshot. Now let me do this now. Everybody smile, cheese. All right, let's do a screenshot. Cheese. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Good, good. I'm so excited. Good, guys. We're going to bun like never before. And yes, today we are going to break off into groups, although those groups are unofficial. It was our chief, Ann, that said last week, you know, some people are going to drop off. Some people will not show up. So we need to sort of feel it through. And what I didn't want to do was assign folks in the groups, you know, before registration closed. And then you wind up being in an empty group. That wouldn't be fair. So we're still going to break off into groups, but these groups will not be official. And the facilitators have instructions on what to do. Only thing is, facilitators, I'm going to need you really connected with me because the timing is changing because we're a little bit behind. And I don't have time to go in and change all those timings. So we're just going to play it by ear. And I'm sure facilitators will keep us focused here. Okay, so let me follow my little thing here. I already told you welcome. This week will be intense. We are creating the groups. And since we've closed registration, you should be in your group, by the way, guys, officially Wednesday. Okay, so today says a lot. Now, am I not going to put a person in the group because they didn't show up? No, because some folks couldn't make it and they did send messages that they can't make it. But it's the goals that got me, and Ann is going to tackle about that today. Right, Ann? She's going to get a little bit into goals, and I sent you a very detailed handout to help you. So I'm going to go through that handout at the end, not right now. I want us to do other things. So make sure you hang on long enough to go through that handout. If you can't hang on, the handout was posted in the $1 Million Mastermind group right at 5:45 on purpose because I didn't want it to distract you, but I wanted you to have it for this meeting. And it's really best practices and suggestions for you as a participant in this mastermind. So when you get a chance, print that baby out, read it word from word. And I look forward to hearing your feedback. Okay. Now, next Monday during this mastermind, after we do the, Ann session, we will break off into our official groups. So I'm hoping you can be here next week. Make sure you let us know. That's just a measure of accountability to send a message to BNSA and just let us know I won't be in it this week. And that way we can let your facilitator know. Okay. So Ann, come on, because I know everybody did their homework, right? Raise your hand if you did your homework. Woo! You notice this is not the kind of homework you can cheat on because I tried that last round. Didn't work very well. So it's not a fast read. You got to do it. So Ann, you may want to make sure you're unmuted. Looks like I got a crazy horn going on here, so I'm going to mute myself. Ann, take it away, my dear.
Okay, now is just the facilitators that we're talking to right now or everybody?
You're talking to everybody.
Okay, I guess because I can just only see just the facilitators.
Really?
Well,
possible.
Well, nevertheless.
There's an arrow, and if you put the arrow, everybody comes in.
You can just go to speaker view.
Yeah, you want to scroll. Yeah.
Okay.
Go to gallery.
All right, but this is fine.
Yeah,
okay.
Top of it hits speaker view, and you can see everybody.
Okay, and this is how we learn. Okay, what I wanted to do in starting, I did get a chance to go through many of most of the homework assignments that were submitted. And but I'd like to do, Marquessa, because I think it's very important that we have some dialogue very briefly from the questions. And Robin, we did this before. From the questions, we're each asked to do number 5. So everybody did 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5 is the statement, the actual statement, because that is what we will start each group with. Every facilitator will start with that because it's important. Going back to number 6, I'm on the 6 steps. Okay, I'm on the 6 steps. On whichever page you have, if it's 28 or 34 in your book. So we want to get a feel for the chapters. We should be up to chapter 3 right now on Quest and everybody, assuming that everybody read the first 2 chapters. And I know some people are past that. But as far as the group, it's important that there's some discussion within the group regarding the first 2 chapters and the 6 steps. So how do you want to dialogue, Marquessa, in terms of having some feedback? Because that's really the crux of what's going to be discussed over the next remaining weeks.
Okay.
One more thing, the affirmation, if the affirmation changes, it's okay. I just want to make sure we all understand that as we discuss your affirmation within your group, your individual group, different people are going to engage you and hold you accountable and may encourage you to change it, because one of the action items that should come out of here after all of the weeks is a tight affirmation that you can have action steps that you can actually achieve in the proper amount of time. Okay, so Marquessa, with that said, how do you want to proceed regarding walking through? What I really would like to hear is the responses to the first 2 chapters. So how do you want to do that?
I think that's a good way to start. And you can ask for volunteers for certain ones. Now, keep in mind, our goal for part 1 is to meet for about 20 minutes or so. That way the mastermind groups can break off and have the discussion within themselves. And we'll give instructions on exactly what that means later. But for now, I think it's important, especially since faith was a new chapter for many of us. We just did desire and faith. And boy, faith is very interesting. And I think it's so appropriate for so many of us. I guess my question for all of us to think about, Anne, is how should faith fit into how we lay out our big goal and really have that think and grow rich mindset?
Well, I think that if you go back to the first chapter on desire, and we use Barnes as an example, and as I was actually rereading it myself, what jumped out at me is the fact that even though you don't see the words FAITH, but we all know that the burning desire that you must have for your goal, you must have chapter 2 in order to achieve that. And he gave himself 5 years. And I thought it was very interesting as I reread that, and I said, wow, for many of us, whatever craft you're in, 2 to 5 years is really the time to learn your craft, your industry, in terms of, are we really speakers who are in business, or are we really business people who are speakers? And that's really what I'd like to encourage us to think about as we move forward. So going back to faith, going back to chapter 1, and if we each consider ourselves as Barnes, and assuming that we all read the story of Barnes, right? Mm-hmm. So if we each put our name in his place, therein I would suggest faith has to emerge in order for us to achieve whatever that goal is that we're discussing in number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I just like to open it up with that. But those were my thoughts and comments on my reread again. So can we go ahead with volunteers very briefly, Marquess, and just take a few, and then we can move to the next step.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, this is Carol. Am I echoing?
Yes, Carol.
Okay. Am I echoing?
No.
Okay.
Not anymore.
What I found remarkable, and I actually saw myself in this role when I read about Barnes, I thought about his vision totally preceded and just blazed through any objections that he had. Clearly, he had a money issue. He didn't have the money really to get to see Thomas Edison. There was probably a level of credibility that he had to establish with Thomas Edison, but none of that mattered because he saw himself as a business partner, not someone working for Edison, but a business partner. And that goal just took care of everything. The only example I can really think of that's not business related, but it is that I never really thought about where the money was going to come from when my children went to college, particularly my oldest child, who has a doctorate degree now. It was just, they're going and the money will follow. The money will take place. And in business, I have had that philosophy where it doesn't make any sense, but you have obviously the desire and the faith to accomplish something, and ultimately things fall in place. So I needed to read that again, just because of what I need to do over the next 60 days.
Thank you, Carol.
Can
Thank
I?
you. Yes. Tanya.
Yeah, this was really good for me. It was a foundation for me because what I capture out of this book was desire meets faith. Okay, and then you got to speak it. So when you look at desire, I have a burning desire to do what I want, but the question I had to ask myself: does my faith line up with the burning desire? Do I have the same capacity? I really want to do this, but then the faith have to be a part of it as well. And I also like the fact how he spoke life over your situation. He spoke those things into existence. That's why I think it's equally important for us to have the same measure of desire and faith in order to be able to do this here. So that's what it's a lot of other components, but for the sake of time, those are the components that I thought was very pivotal for me in order for me to move forward.
Right. For me.
Okay, can we have one more? And I'm sorry, go ahead, please. Thanks.
Yeah. I was going to say that for me, what stood out was the section really where he was talking about his son that was born with no ears.
Yes.
And my big takeaway from there was almost the juxtaposition or the comparison of the two sons, the older one and the one that had the quote unquote challenge or disability. And my takeaway really is, you know what, you can have two people grown up or in the same environment, in the same space, having access to the same stuff. And yet only one of them, the one who seemingly has less possibility from the outside, really takes advantage of something simply because of the desire and unflappable faith that, you know what, nothing's going to stop me. So that stood out for me.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I'd like to suggest at this point, if you just take the three people, for each of us, it's going to be breaking up into groups. Now, can you imagine week by week by week, the value that this brings to your goals as you mastermind in terms of helping you have the faith to mix with that desire to move forward, and then having the accountability through each other?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So my question, we maybe have one more. I think somebody's saying something in the chat. Okay. Or is that you? That's you.
Well,
okay.
I had something. This is John.
Hi, John.
Hello. Excuse me. I got a little bit cold. I think one of the things I learned about myself with inside of this is that staying with inside of a purpose, my purpose, and getting clarity with where I'm going to go, instead of showing up as I need to show up as I am, instead of showing up as what others think I am.
Yes.
Wow.
So, and I think that also faith is a muscle. It can be exercised. And when faith is realized, it's no longer faith. So therefore I should have grown from that position to a higher level of faith to believe more for the next leap.
Exactly. It's possible. And I think one of the things that you're hitting on for each of us in our own space is being authentic to self. So thank you. Thank you for that. So Marquessa, I know the time is ticking away. So can we take one more and then move into the next section?
Sure.
Okay. Do we have someone else that want to raise their hand to share?
We got Tony. Tony.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, I snuck on, so hey guys.
Hi.
Smile, Marquessa. Stop it. It's a long story. I'm sorry. I think, everything that everyone said about faith is incredible. One thing for me is faith is also a function of what I believe I'm worth. And so I think a lot of times when we struggle with faith, there's an internal battle of what we're worth, what we deserve, and it's overcoming that helps me to have the faith that accompanies my desire.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Marquessa. So for the facilitators, do you want us to break up now, or how do you want to?
Not yet. I'm still,
Okay.
people are on and off. I'm trying to move people into the groups real quick before that happens.
Okay.
One thing too that's so important, because we got to know what we're going to talk about when we go into these groups, is narrowing down what that big, hairy, audacious goal is. And I think using the word big confused some folks, because remember, we speakertized this Think and Grow Rich. We speakertized it, which means we really wanted to make sure that that was one simple thing to focus on. I don't know if you guys got a chance to download this. It's in the mastermind, and it's a handout for all the participants. And if you can just go to number, and if you can't, you can follow along. And I really want Ann to dive into this a bit, because when you break up into your groups, I'd like you to share what that goal is and listen to your fellow speakers' feedback on whatever they think, whatever they want to say. Does it seem attainable? One problem I notice is, and I don't know if that is a problem, we're dreamers, we're big thinkers. Anyone out here not a dreamer or big thinker? Feel like because of what we do, we change the world. We see things happen all the time. So I get it. That's why I love this. However, that works for us and against us, because we will say, hey, I want to close $25,000 in speaking revenue for the next 3 months. But then we can't answer what we're selling. So it's going to be difficult for your mastermind members to help you, or even for you to accomplish the goal, if you don't narrow that down. Now, granted, we got a lot of moving parts. I mean, I'm doing training sessions, keynotes. I got a membership group. You got a lot of moving parts. But for the purpose of this mastermind, you got to pick one. Your mastermind cannot handle you getting on. I did that. You can ask my mastermind partners. Did I not get on saying, well, I got this, I got that? And they were overwhelmed. So you got to pick one thing that you're going to focus on and go through this process with. Is that clear?
Yes.
And use the SMART thing. I mean, you guys know SMART. Make sure it's specific. And don't say you're going to close $25,000 worth of speaking revenue if that's all you made in speaking last year. You know, so just, it's so important that we narrow this down, because what I don't want to happen is for the end of the mastermind to come and
in your way.
For you. Yeah, nothing happened for you. Teresa?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Marquessa, because of our experience in the beta group and being realistic for myself. I had to scale down what I thought my attainable goal was for the dollar amount for where my business was right now, so that it didn't become overwhelming and me sabotage myself and thinking, oh, wow, how am I going to do this? And you worry yourself to death and really make no progress. So it has benefited me by scaling back to more attainable goals and more focused than, getting out there, like you said, that $20,000 a month. And that's what you made last year, So I think that's very important that you really make sure your goal is attainable for this thing to be successful, no matter how much faith you have, no matter how much speaking into existence you're able to do, because you want this all to be successful.
So Ann, you got a chance to get in there and read some of them. And again, when we go out into the breakout sessions, and guys, when we come back, Ann is going to give us our homework for this week. So that's where, Ann, you'll go to the next level. So remember, we're starting together and we're ending together. But the purpose of the mastermind is just for you guys to just share your goal. Now, since this is not necessarily your official mastermind, no need to really, how can I say this? No need to spend a lot of time trying to get to know each other, but I want you to serve each other with, so what's your goal? What's your goal? But in a non-judgmental way. Did that make sense? So I don't want you to spend a lot of time trying to get comfortable, but do spend time as fellow speakers trying to narrow down each other's goals and make sure it makes sense and be honest, open, but supportive. So any thoughts or comments on that? And then, I'd like Ann to kind of take over with that part?
I'm
Robin?
I know I didn't do a 90-day goal and I'm working on that. I'm a little confused or about just having one goal, like, because as you said, you have so many things. So then that would lower the monetary expectation, correct, as well. So if I were to say I wanted to focus on, in this mastermind, only on my training programs, but at the same time, I'm also working on an online program and I also want keynote programs. So my monetary goal is the goal that's established for those training programs, if that's what I choose to focus on. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, because that training program may or may not have different marketing strategies and different steps and all these different moving parts in compared to the online program. Because I'm thinking online, oh, I got to go and make sure I'm on the right platform. I got to go. It has a whole nother set of steps. And you want to be able to come back and say to your mastermind, oh my goodness, I did this week. I got one person that booked me for this keynote, or I got one person that booked this training program, or I spoke to a meeting planner, she's looking at me. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So just choose one for the mastermind, just one. Just one, because no one is going to remember all of those parts. And again, I made that mistake of trying to make my mastermind responsible for 15,000 things, and they couldn't keep up and they really couldn't support me. I learned a lot about Think and Grow Rich, but I didn't really move my goal with the mastermind. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Any other facilitators want to comment on that, Tony or Teresa or? And by the way, we also have some folks in here that are long-time Think and Grow Richers. I know, Tony, where are you at? Guys, mute your phone out. I'm hearing some noise in the background. William Thompson, I think it's him. Yeah, William.
No, that's not William. That's Anna.
Oh, well, no, William Thompson in terms of being a person that's that knows Think and Grow Rich really well. So you never know, you may wind up getting someone in your mastermind who's very familiar with Think and Grow Rich as well. And any final, as they break off, and I'm trying to multitask right now and pitching groups, but this will buy me a little bit of time.
Yeah, I think we have a couple of people that's not muted, so, and the call is being recorded. So if we can just try to make sure that we got everybody muted.
It normally tells me who's talking, but I'm looking at a lot of pages.
All right, but let me just go back to respond to your question though, Marquissa. I think that you hit a nail right on the head in the sense that also keep in mind, this is going to evolve, and both you and Robin made the point about what we did before. And for you to say, I had all of these goals, and we were together how many months before this? Three months?
Yeah, we're together 3 months.
About 3 months. Okay, so with that being said, I really want to encourage everybody to understand that whatever you start with, as you complete the questions, 1, 2, 3, and at least go down to number 4, it may not be what you come back with next week by the time you start. And then the following week, you're going to continue to refine that as you are willing to be refined. Does that make sense, everybody? Because it's not just the questions, it's also the reading, but it's also getting in that uncomfortable space of being held accountable, period. And I just want to encourage everybody that truly is a process and it's a function of time. You want to say something, Tony? Were you saying something? Or were you waiting?
Yeah, no, I was going to say that was one of the revelations of the beta group is at the beginning, we all had our goals and we had our plan, but it wasn't just as the reading changed, it was as our faith grew. Because, what we think is our faith now and what will be our faith in 2 months are two completely different things, especially if we continue with our daily assignments. It'll be amazing how that internalizes. And so, yeah, my original plan or my original goal is starkly different than what it was by the end of the beta group. And, I see it coming to fruition as well. which that would not have been necessarily my goal at the beginning.
And how long ago was that, Tony?
That
Almost
was,
5-6 months ago?
yeah, right. That was,
Okay.
we stopped in December, right? So it was, yeah, when you look at my faith goal in October, it was truly like a blind faith goal. When you look at my goal in December, it was I have absolute confidence that this is going to happen. I'm not sure how it's going to happen, but absolute confidence it's going to happen.
Right. And then I just wanted you to say that because going back to the point that Marquessa was making, we just want to encourage everybody to just be willing to be, because as we grow, and I just keep remembering, are we really small businesses owners that are speakers, or are we speakers, aspiring to be a business owner? And depending upon which way we look at that and answer it, it's going to also impact our faith and our goal, because is it just the speech or is it the business itself? And as a speaker, okay, and I just want to encourage us each as we go down this road and setting these goals, that if we're willing to be open and honest with whoever you're masterminding with, the goal may change. So that's it for me, Marquez, unless we have any questions before we break up.
What we're going to do, guys, our time got thrown off a bit today. I apologize, if we'll figure out this meeting room thing so that way we can get here on time or even a little bit earlier. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of you guys didn't hear this. We do not have a BNSA call following this. We do next week. So because of that, I'm asking some folks to stay on afterwards, or anybody can stay on afterwards, just for some clarification with logistics, the process, anything, to stay on afterwards. That would be awesome if you can. I really wanted us to be in our groups for a good 25 minutes. Now it's 6:26 right now. And my concern is if we stay 20 minutes, that really doesn't give you enough time to come back and get the homework. And doesn't need a ton of time to give you your homework when you come back. So I think we can, if we come back 10 till, we'll be okay. But what do you guys want to do? Do you want, it's 6:26, do you want to meet in your groups until 7, or do you want to meet in your groups for 20 minutes?
This is Carol. Let's meet for 20 minutes and then come back.
Okay. So we're going to meet for 20 minutes. So facilitators, I'm going to need you to stay on. Also, Robert, you were my backup. So you're still my backup. But right now, I'm going to put you in a group because Tony is on. Okay? So Robert is my backup. So the facilitators, Robin, Sharonde, and Shirley T. and Willie Price is going in your group. Tanya, Christopher West, Sandra, and William is going in your group. Tony, a 713, which I think is Charlotte, Carol, and Ome Congo is going in your group. And then Teresa, John, Robert, and Tanya are going in your group. 1, 2. Okay, what did I do?
Is that Tanya Morris?
Yes.
Okay.
Tanya Morris. Okay, yeah. And so what's going to happen is Ann is going to peek into the group. So I'm going to move Ann around. So Ann is going to start off in Teresa's group. These are not official. This is just for the purpose of today. So what are you going to do when you get in your group? I gave the facilitators instructions. Just talk about your goals and give each other honest feedback. Okay. So
excuse me.
Yes.
Ann. Okay, okay.
How do we get in our groups?
I'm going to put you
You're going to just do it, and it's just going to happen. We don't have to do anything.
I'm going to put you in your groups, and then you can get a ding that's going to have you come back. Some people said I did not give them a group. So Shavannah, they normally give everybody's name, so I don't know what's going on. I see one phone number, and that's a 713. I don't think that's you, Savannah. So we will see where it falls because I can move you. All right? So
okay, I just have one thing before we break up.
Yeah.
I just want to just kind of come back here. When we say talk about our goals, let's please everybody make sure you're answering each question so that we're not talking about the goals, we're answering each question. Because if we answer each question, then the others can dialogue with you versus going off on a tangent to talk about your goal. So I just want to just clarify that. Thank you.
That's why we love you, Ann. And facilitators, speakers, we got to keep it moving. So When a facilitator cuts you off, please do not get upset because we got to move it. All right, we're going to go. You guys ready? One quick thing I forgot to say. Please make sure you have your Black NSA $1 Million Facebook group open. I will communicate in that group, okay? In case, you know, for some reason you're thinking I can't communicate. And I'm not sure if the chat room works once you're in groups. So just back yourselves up and make sure you're logged into the group. All right, we're about to go.
Hey, my question.
Yes.
I was not able to access the facilitator's document.
Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do, Tony? I'm gonna put Robert in your group.
Yeah, and that'll be good because I still won't be here the next 2 weeks. So it'd be
All
good
right.
if we can tag team today, okay?
Robert, I need you to co-facilitate with Tony because you know what to do, okay?
Thanks, Robert.
Where's Robert? Is that okay?
I got him. He's
All
good.
right. All right, so you just told
Yeah,
me.
I was on mute. We're good.
And Leanne is saying she does not have a group. Leanne.
Don't worry, it's gonna move you. It's gonna tell me who's in which group, and I'll move you once the groups are all dispersed. So just go with it.
Okay.
All right.
20 minutes?
20 minutes.
Okay, you want me to move?
Yeah.
Marquessa?
Yeah, give me a
okay,
second.
click.
So I see Anna. And okay, good. Now some of y'all I don't see in here, and I don't know why. Okay. I don't know why I see you guys in here. Leanne, you should be somewhere. Oh, so 4 people are unassigned. Okay, I see what's going on. So Anna, I'm gonna assign you to Tanya's group. Okay, so you're gone. Savannah, I'm gonna assign you to Tony's group. If it's weird, it's hard for me to read it. Sharonda, I'm gonna assign you to
Sharon, I need you to get that right.
All right, let me go in there. Let me see, Leanne, I'm gonna assign you to Robin's group. There we go. And anybody else, everybody should be assigned right now. Why are you guys still looking at me? You should all be assigned at this point. Okay. Shavana, are you assigned, my dear? Shavana, are you in here? Oh, you haven't joined. Okay, let me just move you somewhere. I'm gonna move you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I see you now. Let me just move you somewhere. Okay.
Okay.
You're moved.
Gotcha.
Well, I hope so. Shavana, you still not moved? Shavana, are you how are you in the group? And Anna. Oh, it's weird. It's saying that you guys haven't joined. Do me a favor, log out, log back in, but make sure how are you logged in? Did you click the link? Shavana, can you hear me? Anna, can you hear me? I guess not. I'm confused. It's okay. Jesus Christ. All right. All right. And there you go. Okay. So I see them. I'm just concerned that they are not in a group. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. So, okay. So unassigned, no one is there. So right now I need to get ready to move Teresa. I mean, get ready to move Ann. I'm gonna move Ann to Tony's group. There we go. So I just moved Ann. They may not like it. Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay, let's go to chat. Is anyone communicating? Oh, there's no way to communicate with me. Okay. So we're going to go into the Facebook group. All right. I'm here. Tell me if you need something. Just give me a headache. Okay, here we go. Post. We are good. Very good, very good. All right. Okay, yay. All right. Okay, moving you. All right, so I'm gonna move Robert to Tony's group. So where the heck is Robert? I'm gonna move Robert to Tony's group, and there you go. All right. Okay. Okay, Savannah, are you not meeting with anyone? Unmute. Okay, I just unmuted you. Say something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Anna.
Yeah, it went to Tony's group, but then it kicked me out. So then I ended up back here. So I'm not sure what happened.
All right, well, since I guys got you over here, stay right here then. Stay right here. That's fine.
Okay.
Anna, can you hear me? You're frozen. Oh, do you know what? We're recorded, so that's not good. Savannah, am I saying your name right?
Savannah, yep.
Savannah, I'm gonna try to move you again, okay? Everybody will hear you. Savannah, how did you log in?
I